Anil, when we were brainstorming for the Jagran Film Festival in the early days, when we were brainstorming who should be the subject of the retrospective, it was, I have to say, very unanimous. I mean, our first choice was Anil, and everyone said, "Oh, but retrospective. I mean, is he going to feel like we're giving him a lifetime achievement award?" And the truth is, the beauty is that that at very early in your career, because it feels like there's a long way to go before you sort of hang up the boots. There is just such a great, there is just such a huge body of work. There's a canon of work. It really is incredible, and it continues. Most times retrospectives and lifetime achievements awards are things that you give at the end of a career, and how wonderful to be almost. I don't think it's fair, I don't think it's unfair to say midway mark. To have this beautiful retrospective, so we're very grateful that you agreed to participate in this. You've had this wonderful career that has spanned so many. I keep saying so many, and then I remember I'm talking to the man who never ages. This is Benjamin Button. He ages in reverse. I've known Anil for 25 years. I promise you, I looked very different. He looks the same or probably younger. Anil, I feel like we should maybe. It's impossible to talk about every film you've made, but maybe identify. I have in my head 5 films, and I thought we'll talk about each of them specifically. You give us the story and tell us how maybe other films were born from that. I thought we should really talk about the first breakthrough, the breakthrough film, the breakout film, which was Wo Saat Din. It wasn't your first film, but it was the first film that, in a sense, put you on the map. Do you remember how that came about? How Boni, your brother, was the producer of that film. You were working with Naseeruddin Shah. What drew you to that film? Were you in a place of choice at that time? It was very early in your career when that came your way. Could you say no to a film? Did you choose it because it was something that was just coming your way, or was it something that you wanted to do? Do you remember where you were when that film happened?
Good evening, first of all. Thank you very much, Rajiv.
Thank you.
That's been a very long introduction.
Yeah.
And happy to see you all over here. And, I've come here to speak, obviously not to take pictures, but I will take pictures too. Okay? And this is the 10th Jagran Film Festival,
That's right.
Okay, great. Congratulations to all of you all, whoever is here from Jagran. And Rajiv, thank you for inviting me and giving me this honor. It's always wonderful to speak to you.
Thank you.
And, you're one of the, people whom I admire and respect.
Thank you so much.
And,
it's entirely mutual.
Yeah. And so about Wo Saat Din, of course, yeah, beggars can't be choosers. So that was my attitude. Obviously, when I came to know about the script and I came to know about the role, obviously when I saw it, I remember there was a terrace. We had a terrace. I was staying in Chembur. I went to the terrace and I started thinking, यार ये तो मैं कर ही नहीं सकूँगा. यार ये कैसे कर सकते हैं? And obviously they were thinking about Sanjeev Kumar. They were thinking about Ranbir Kapoor those days. Because obviously music director is supposed to be in those days were all middle-aged kind of music directors. And this guy comes from Patiala to become a music director in Mumbai. And so yeah, and those days what was happening is there were young, college boys who were launched, just straight out of college, and there was a Love Story which was launched with Kumar Gaurav. There was Rocky with Sanjay Dutt. There was all these films were launched. There was Bobby, which had become a very big success. So these were the films, and this was the flavor of the season. And of course, Betab. There was, I think they had already started and talking about Betab being, Sunny Deol being launched. So all these, kids, one with the guitar, one with the horse, and, so these were the leading men with, wearing those, on bikes and doing
leather
all
jackets
the bikes.
And,
Leather jacket and all. And this role came to me, which was something of from a small little village, and I'm playing a villager, and I'm from Mumbai. I am a very urban, born in Mumbai, born in Chembur, studied in convent school, English medium, went to St. Xavier's College, so in my sensibility, the way I was in real life was completely opposite to the kind of role which was offered to me. So obviously I panicked, but as I said, beggars can't be choosers. And I said yes, because the story was good, the script was good, it was written by K. Bhagaraj, and that's the way I said, yes, I will do it, because the content was so good and the film was successful in Tamil. So we got the rights, and then the original film was directed by Bhagaraj, and the Telugu version was directed by Mr. Bapu. And Bapu, we had already worked in Hum Panch. I don't know if you all have seen that film. It was directed by Bapu Saab. That was one of our films which we produced, where Boni and myself had started our careers as as producers. And then this film came up. And in the meantime, I had somewhere made a name for myself in the film trade, because I had done few bit roles in films like Hamare Tumhare, Ek Baar Kaho. I had done a Telugu film with Bapu Saab called Vamsa Raksham. I had done a Kannada film, Mani Ratnam's first film, Pallavi Anna Pallavi. And I had auditioned for a film to be directed by Ramesh Sippy. A film called Shatranj was Shatranj, and it was supposed to have Amitabh Bachchan, Amjad Khan, and myself. I had auditioned for it, and they had liked my audition. Ramesh Sippy had liked my audition, and Javed Saab had suggested my name to Ramesh ji, and it had come as a sources say, like a kind of a gossip in one of the film magazines, that the three A's in Ramesh Sippy's film: Amitabh Bachchan, Amjad Khan, Anil Kapoor. And obviously, the film was never made, but there was a kind of a buzz that there is an actor who's done MS Satyu's film, and there was a talk. So it was slightly easier for us to start thinking of making a film with me as a lead, our own production. And that's the way the journey started. And then Bapu Saab came on board, and now we wanted the leading lady and the other leading man, which is Nasruddin Shah. And so first we signed Padmini Kolhapuri. We had seen some brushes of Prem Rog, and we signed her. And Nasir, we had already worked in Hum Panch. So obviously we used our good offices and emotionally blackmailed him for doing doing their role. He didn't want to do it. First he said, twice or thrice he said no. Then we, sweet of him. And I always will be grateful to him that he accepted to do the film. And I wouldn't be sitting here if he would have not said yes. And of course, Padmini said yes. And then, of course, after Prebro became a big success, she became in two minds, to do the film or not to do the film. And that's the time my journey started, and my experience of being a producer and being a people's person started. I started visiting a home, and I started visiting the studio, sitting there, trying to tell her that you must do the film. And then we, convinced her to do the film also. So both of them were convinced to do the film, and the project was made. So we had a leading lady, we had a leading man, and here I was a newcomer, being, doing this role, which was of a kind of a villager. And now how do I, make the role convincing? So obviously I can, as an actor, I was kind of a trained actor. So I knew how to go about it, how to prep for it. We had done character improvisation, these kind of subjects we had. We had action problem. From action problem, we went to improvisation, then scenes, and then character improvisation. These are the journeys which you do with Taneja Saab, who was my guru teacher. We just lost him a few months back. A great loss for all of us and for all the actors who have trained under him. And then I started working on the role. And I said, now I have to get a dialect for the film, because I'm supposed to be from Patiala. Now people are doing dialects now. I did a dialect in 1982. And I started doing workshops. I did some workshops with Ranjit Kapoor, who was a theatre director. And I did workshops with him. I used to go to one of the small hotels where he was writing, I think, one of the films over there. So I used to go to him every day with a script and pick up the dialect. I sat with him quite some time. Then I went to Gulzar Saab. He was not writing the film, but I, used my influence and landed up in Gulzar Saab's house. He also helped me with some kind of dialect. The Nada came from the Gulzar Saab, that line. So that's the way the journey started. And by the time I went on the set, and when he started shooting the film, I knew the script backwards with the dialect of Haryanvi dialect. The Haryanvi dialect, because this is my family doctor who said, because I had seen films like Amitabh Bachchan Saab's and Dilip Kumar Saab's films, and they had all done Bhojpuri, and usually there used to be only UP dialect. Nobody had done these kind of North Indian Haryanvi dialect. So he said, "Why? I said, I don't want to do that dialect because that all the other actors have done. Let me do something which is no leading man has ever done." So I think the Haryanvi and the North Indian dialect, which is very, you can see in all the films now, I can very proudly say I was one of the first people to do that, and that was Wo Saat Din. And thanks to my doctor, Dr. Rajaram, who suggested me that why didn't you, because you are a Punjabi, why didn't you do Haryanvi? I said, I'm a Punjabi, but I can't speak Punjabi because I stay in Mumbai and I usually speak only English and Hindi, and that also Mumbaiya Hindi. And so I think it was just my, my commitment and my hard work which paid off. And from the day the film released, I think I didn't look back. It was 1983, and today is what? Now, 2019. What is the month? July. I think it released in July, August only. So it's almost more than 36 years now.
It's incredible. You said something interesting, Anil, and I think that it's true of your career. You said that beggars can't be choosers. You said that you found that the story was the first thing that appealed to you was the story.
The story and the screenplay, yes, of course, yeah.
Not necessarily your character and your role in it. And I feel that that's something that's really defined your career. You're among those rare actors that actually, and I think a lot of American actors do, and I think some Indian actors do, but unfortunately not enough. I feel that you're driven there. I think you're a filmmaker at heart. You are the producer. You are where the first investment is in the story. If the story is great, the characters will pop. The characters will work. You're less of a selfish actor in that sense. That role acha hai, script kaise bhi ho. We find a lot of actors do that. They're driven. This will be a great character. I don't think the whole script works in it, but I will shine.
No, of course, that's the reason on so many of my films which I've done, where initially, obviously, they felt that, the other actors or actresses, have a better role.
Right.
But I never really looked at it that way. I felt the film is very, very good, the story is very good, and if the film is successful and film is appreciated, automatically it will be only for the trade or sometimes for the media or the critics who will try to, kind of
right.
create that kind
create
of
a caste system within the film. Right.
Caste system, but I really never bothered about that. It used to affect a little bit. It used to affect, but I used to forget about it because I knew that one of the reasons, because I always knew what my instinct was when I said yes to the film. So it really not really. I can give you so many examples where the films have been hugely successful, but because I went not for my role, but overall, it's a good role, but overall I feel the script was very, very good and the story was very good. Yeah.
Right. The second film I want to talk about is actually my favorite film. It's literally one of my favorite films of all time, and certainly I think my favorite of your performances. It's Mr. India. We're also in fact playing it at Jagran. So those of you who has anyone not watched Mr. India? Has everyone watched Mr. India? Yes. I thought so. Well, we're playing it again. If anyone hasn't, or if anyone wants to revisit just how amazing that film is. What, Anil, what in your opinion is the secret behind the enduring quality of that film? A lot of films made in the 80s, a lot of films made in the 90s, a lot of films made 5 years ago date. They begin to look like they're already dated. And this is a film that had effects.
Yeah.
Effects films, in fact, tend to date the fastest because effects begin to look old very soon because technology advances, and you all did in-camera practical effects. What was it like making that movie? You were in a position by then, of course, that you were a star. This is the title role. This was, but it was a risk. It was an unusual film. It could have turned out either way. What's the story behind that film?
Again, it's the story and the script. We heard the story idea. The script was there about 40-50% when Javed Saab narrated to us. And I said, this is the last story Salim Saab and Javed Saab had created together. But when they parted ways, this story came to Javed Saab.
Right.
And he had just written about 40-50% of the film. And then we heard the story and said, we have to make this film because I think this film will work. Because, we always, there was a kind of like Wo Saat Din, we felt this is also a film which will work. The characters are great. And it's something really fresh which people have not seen. And that's the reason we went away to the film. And I remember going down again, first for the Wo Saat Din, I went on a terrace. But for Mr. India, both me and Boni went on a staircase. We have a staircase. So we went in the staircase and started discussing. I said, this is going to be the biggest risk of our lives.
Right.
Because, this film, we're not as big producers to make this film. I'm not as big a star to make to star in such an expensive film, but let's take the risk. And we are young enough to handle it. And we took the risk and started producing the
Is
film.
it true that Javed Saab and Salim Saab, when they originally conceptualized it, they were hoping Amitabh Bachchan would do it?
Yeah, it was written for Amitabh.
Wow.
I remember Pramod Chakraborty was producing the film, and I think Amitabh could not, or he was, couldn't come for the Muhurat of the film, and he had sent his voice. So it was almost, it was supposed to be made with Amitabh ji, yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah.
What was it like shooting that film? I mean, we've all got incredible memories of Mr. India. A lot of us grew up on Mr. India. There are scenes that till today are amazing scenes. Those are characters you remember Calendar, you remember, of course, all the kids. You remember what was it like making that movie? Did you know you'll be
I think
making
the
something
biggest,
special?
what I feel is, I think the best decision we took is, first I said, let's get the soul right of the film. So first we put up the set of my character's home,
Right.
where most of the scenes were there. The scenes
With the
between
kids.
the kids. So we shot that, and I remember having the first screening of the dailies of that portion of the film. It was about more than almost an hour.
Wow.
An hour, and we smiled, we laughed, we wept. And me and Shekhar saw the film together. And we came out, it was in Ketna, we came out and both had tears in the eyes. And we knew that we had made a damn good film.
Right.
Because the soul was there. And then after that, we started shooting the special effects.
Right.
Because the soul was there. Without the soul, all the special effects would have completely fallen flat. So you talk about the special effects now because the soul was there.
Right.
The soul was there, and then these were the things which were sprinkled with the Charlie Chaplin sequence, the Hanuman sequence, the portions with Anu Kapoor and Mr. India.
Yeah.
So, and the climax. These were things which were shot much later. But first we got the basic content of the film, the soul of the film.
Right.
And of course, all the special effects were done in camera. I just read an article, and I was really felt bad that Peter Pereira, who's still alive, and there was an article where actually, in a way, he was the real hero of Mr. India. The special effects were done in camera by Peter Pereira, who was Babubai Mysteries. He learned a lot under him,
Right.
and he did the special effects in the Mitchell camera, in the big camera. So I remember whenever those effects were planned, there was a big joke that me and Baba would say that I'm going to sleep now. When the shot is ready, just wake me up. So all of us used to go to.
It took that long.
That long.
Right.
So we used to, I said, we'll go and sleep. By the time the shot is ready, we'll come back. So that's the kind of patience we had
Right.
when we made Mr. India and made those special effects happen. Yeah.
That. When the movie came out, it was a massive hit, of course. But it also was the first time there was merchandising. I remember you all had stationery boxes. I mean, it was a trendsetter in many
Absolutely.
ways.
It was the
wasn't
first time that there was merchandising. The first time we traveled to cities. It was the first time we went for a cricket match.
Right.
And I was in Sharjah, and we had put up a billboard, and there was a cricket match, and that's the first time that the film was also promoted, and I went for the cricket match. And I remember when the film released, before the film release, me and Vivian Richards and myself landed on a chopper in one of the stadiums to promote the film. So these are the innovative things we did for Mr. India. Yeah.
What did the success of that film enable you? How did it? I mean, of course, it sort of strengthened your sort of star power. But what did it? Do you remember just how big the success was, and what was the impact, or what was the effect of that in your
To be
career?
honest with you, I don't remember any film success.
That's amazing.
Any film success. I just move on to my next. Mr. India was released. I think I must be somewhere out of Mumbai shooting
the
for some
next
other
one.
film. Yeah. So I don't remember any of the celebrations or success or feeling heavy-headed or what was happening, that I'd become a big star or anything like that. I don't remember anything. I do remember that, yes, of course, that, after that, Boni as a film producer, became a big name.
Yeah.
And, but I was always the labor class struggler who, got up in the morning and अपना बोरी बिस्तरा उठाया और अपने काम पे चला गया.
But that's very interesting, Anil, what you just said. And that's it's been your sort of life motto, hasn't it? To not take the successes very seriously, but is that also been with the failures? I mean, when a film failed, also were you able to pick up and were you already moving on to the
Obviously,
next
you
thing?
feel happy when a film is a success.
Yeah.
You're excited, you're thrilled, and of course, you feel upset and feel low for some time when films don't do well because you work so hard on it. Especially, I put my everything in a film, and unless you're very clear that this film you've done, this is your intention. ये मैंने film ली है क्योंकि मुझे ये घर खरीदना है.
Right.
ये फिल्म मैंने इसलिए ली है क्योंकि मुझे इनके लिए घर खरीदना है.
Yeah.
ये फिल्म मैंने इसलिए की क्योंकि मुझे ये ऑफिस खरीदना है. यू अंडरस्टैंड मैंने एक काम की जगह होनी चाहिए. तो यार ये फिल्म कर लेते हैं, बाकी इसमें मैं एक्टिंग कर लूँगा, ये इसमें एक्टिंग भी करूँगा, थोड़े पैसे भी कमा लूँगा. तो आपका जब वो दिमाग जब क्लीन होता है ना, सो आई ट्राई टू हिट दैट बैलेंस. आई बीन वेरी प्रैक्टिकल, not delusional, not being completely arty and not being commercial also. I
Right.
always try to hit the balance.
Do you know what third film I'm going to pick? I feel like we should talk about Ram Lakhan, right? But I feel like Ram Lakhan was another big turning point. Ram Lakhan was it the first film with Subhash Ghai? It was.
No, my first film with Subhaji was Meri Jung.
Meri Jung, that's right.
I did Meri Jung, I did Karma, and then
you did
Ram
then you did Ram Lakhan. Ram Lakhan was yourself and Jackie, of course, with whom you've done several movies. You were the bad son, the bad brother. Not bad, but the sort of the twisted one. Huh? He was Ram, and you were the naughty one. What appealed to you about this role? Do you remember making that film? Did you get a sense? I mean, Subhash Ghai was, of course, known for those larger-than-life musical entertainers.
Like for example, certain we actors, if there was a film made by Subhaji, so we never used to think about we knew that he would make a fantastic film.
Right.
I always knew that he'll give me a terrific role. So we would do it, for that kind of respect we had, for the filmmaker.
Right.
And Javed Saab, Subhaji, and Yash
Right.
So there was obviously I would, listen to the script because they would, they would not narrate the script to others, but they would narrate the script to me because they felt, at least I have some
Perspective, yeah.
perspective.
Yeah.
So when I heard the idea, I loved it, and and of course those days screenplays were written
On the set.
Not on the set, but they had
The night before?
no, not night before. Because I feel they had
Huh.
mentally that this is the beginning, this is the middle,
Correct.
and this might be the end. End also they would not show, and then they would, it was a slow cook.
Correct.
To a certain extent, they would, and somewhere they would see the film and then think about its work. This is working, that is working, and then they would work on that. So
Right.
that's the way films were made, earlier. So at least Subhaji made those kind of.
Right.
But Meri Jung was a script which was there written by Javed Saab. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But Ram Lakhan, do you have memories of shooting that film?
Yeah, I had great memory. I think this film, Ram Lakhan, we had, वो कब शुरू हुई कब खत्म हुई पता ही नहीं चला.
Right.
It was a lot of fun. We started with the song AGOG. We launched the film in Khandala, and we started with that song. And I saw the song. We all saw the song, and we knew that we hit the bullseye. We had not picturized a single scene, just with the song. Because the character came across, because everybody was there in that song. It was not only a song, but where there was story also.
Right.
There was Rakhi, Rakhi ji was playing my mother. There was Jackie, who's my brother. There is Amrish Puri, who's the bad guy. His son, who's the other bad guy.
Right.
And everybody was there in that song. And you saw the song, and you knew that we hit the bullseye. We knew the film's going to be a blockbuster.
Right. I feel like we're going to take a big leap because the next film I want to talk about came much later. I mean, there were incredible films in between. There was Lamhe, which it requires a very bold, brave actor to do that film. There was Virasat, which is again one of my favorites actually. I thought what you brought to Virasat was incredible, and I think that Kamal Hassan had done a great job with Tevar Magan, but you were able to create that character from scratch and make him such a compelling character, nobility and and right and doing the right thing. That beautiful relationship with his wife, who he marries reluctantly, but beautiful moments in Virasat. The film I want to talk about though is Slumdog Millionaire. I feel that was a very big turning point because it introduced the world to Anil Kapoor. This little secret that we were hiding, Bollywood, was now the world discovered you. The funny thing is when Slumdog Millionaire came to you, you were not sure whether you wanted to do it at all. It was your son who told you Danny Boyle is the guy to work with.
No, absolutely, because you see, the thing is, because after a certain time, obviously, you become so, there are so many tracks. I'm sure people my age or slightly younger to me also, when you're younger, obviously, you have just your, you watch, the consuming power is much more.
Right.
You can consume a lot of content, and there are lesser responsibilities. You're much more, working towards your goal of
Right.
becoming the best or becoming the biggest.
Right.
But when Slumdog came to me, obviously I had my other priorities of my family, my wife, my children, my production, my career. All, it was a combination of everything, and other responsibilities. And so obviously, somewhere I had forgotten that this is the same filmmaker who had made Train Spotting.
Right.
And he's the filmmaker who made The Beach. And this is the film DiCaprio after Titanic decided to do a film
With him,
with
yeah.
Danny Boyle, after giving such a big success. So somewhere it had slipped my mind. I knew who he was, but I knew about his films, but I didn't know his name.
Right.
But of course, Harsh knew everything, and if, as I said earlier also, matter of fact, I had got a poster of Train Spotting also, which was still there on his, door. And he read the script first, and he said, "You have to do the film, and it's something which you've never done, and it's right time and high time you should do something, something like Slumdog Millionaire." So he read the script first, and I said yes to the film. Without reading the script, obviously internationally when they came to know, obviously it was not a good thing to say.
Right.
But me being me, I said that in all my interviews, and I
That's
told.
tricky because it was a negative role.
Yeah, but you know how I am, no?
Correct.
As I said,
Right.
I'm made differently.
Right.
My son asked me to do it, I just do it.
What was it
And,
like shooting that film?
It was, I think my first day of shoot was with Irfan. We shot in JJ School of Arts in one of the buildings over there. It was supposed to be the exterior of corridors of a police station. The scene is not there in the film, but we shot. That was the first day of our shooting, where Danny was shocked to see thousands of people standing outside.
Right.
So I said, "Who have I signed here?" He knew I was a popular actor,
But he didn't have the
this idea.
the extent of
So we had a lot of problems trying to handle the crowds over
Crowds.
there. But we did that scene, but the scene unfortunately is not there in the film. And I think that was one of the weakest scenes of both me and Irfan. I'm happy that it's not there.
there in the film. Did you realize making that film that it was going to be as special as it?
Yeah, I remember shooting in Karjat at ND Studios. They put up a set of the
Show.
of the show, and I called up my wife. I said something special is being made, and this is something special. Good, I did this film. The director is terrific. The story is fantastic, and I'm enjoying myself. I'm having fun, and something. My instinct says that this is something special.
Right. That film just popped.
Yeah.
It, from the first screening, I think it was Telluride and then Toronto. It just became it gathered momentum, and then that momentum didn't stop. It ended with, of course, the Oscars.
Absolutely. Matter of fact, the first time I really came to know was Telluride, and then of course Toronto Film Festival, and of course I couldn't get the visa to go there
Right.
because for the Canadian visa you have to send the passport to Delhi. So I couldn't get the visa in time, so I couldn't be there for the and we won the
Audience award, yeah?
Yeah, audience award, and she was fortunate, Frida, that she stayed back because she has one of her aunts or someone over there. So Danny and everybody left, but nobody expected they could win the audience choice award,
No.
and she was there to
Receive
pick up
it.
the award, they collect the award, they receive the award, and there was no looking back after that. Yeah, one after the other, things kept on happening, and we have won, I think, over 200 awards
Yeah.
worldwide, and made more than 600 to 700, or I think almost close to $1 billion.
Right. The moment, of course, the big moment. I remember the first big moment was the Globes, where you all won. Was it Tom Cruise who presented at the Globes to you all?
Yes, absolutely, and that's the time I spoke to him, and I said when he gave the award, and I remember going in the wings. I said, "You must come to India."
And you made sure he did. You
So I
actually
said,
brought him.
yes, I will come to India. I'll come to India. And then I had this opportunity of working with him, and I reminded him, and he remembered it. And then for the release of the film, he especially came for India because he'd given me the word that he's going to
Right.
come to India. And you know how it is when you put it out in the universe,
Yeah.
and when you dream, and when you want things to happen, they happen.
Right. The next film I want to talk to you about, the fifth film I want to talk to you about, is another very special film. And again, you stuck your neck out. It's Dil Dhadakne Do, which they weren't having a lot of luck casting. You were the first choice, but they weren't sure whether you do it. And I think you took some time to say yes. So they were all stressed whether he'll do it or not. First, he has to make his hair grey. He's never needed to do that. Will he do it or not?
She pitched the film to me that I have to go grey. She said, I want you to do the film. Obviously, I knew, I had an instinct that Zoya is offering me a film, it must be a father's role. You understand? Sometimes you get an instinct.
Correct.
And my instinct was right when she came to me. She narrated me the script. And earlier it was Ranbir and Kareena.
That's right.
So it was Ranbir, Kareena and myself. So I said, oh, theek hai. I think it's good, looks good because we all three are Kapoors and there is a certain kind of, we look from this kind of a,
Family,
yeah, kind of a family, yeah, same family. And not same, but ऐसा लगता है कि हो सकता है ऐसा. And then slowly Ranbir backed out, didn't do the film. I don't know why. And then Kareena also didn't do the film. I don't know why. And then Ranveer came to the film. And when that's time, Zoya was constantly in touch with me, and then we started speaking to each other. And then, of course, obviously Ranveer would call up and message Zoya and me. I said, did he say yes? Did he say yes? I said, मैं आके नंगा खड़ा हो जाऊँगा बाहर. पर कब मैं धरना कर दूँगा,
Because almost people almost expected you to say no because actors who are still working today as leading men will not play father to grown stars. I mean,
and again, it was my son who kept on walking in and out of the the room where I do my sittings and meeting people. So he would come and he says, Zoya, has Dad said yes? Dad, do the film. I'm telling you, it's do the film. It's not the. You're playing, Anil Kapoor is not playing the father, you're playing the character. It's the character which is important. It's the character which is important. It's the role which is important. And, when, and I sometimes, I said, yeah. And I always used to say, Slumdog is to a certain extent, is a beginner's luck. I want you to, go right again.
Right.
And he did go right again. And I said yes to the film. And I'm so happy that I said yes. And I remember Javed Saab also called me up. I said, "Tu haan karega ki nahi haan karega?" That time I really got scared. As you said, na Javed Saab, Subhash ji. So when Zoya ne bola, "Tu ab tak haan nahi ki hai? Tu soch raha hai?" There was a kind of a, when a like a dad or a
Correct.
senior person fires you. So there was a firing tone. I said, "You gone mad? Just do the film, yeah. Just do the film." And immediately I called up Zoya. I'm doing the film. So actually the decision was taken when, to a certain extent, when I got a firing from Javed Saab.
And I think your character, and you have some of the best scenes in the film. That scene with Shefali in the room where you confess your transgressions, where she says, "Tum mujhe bhool gaye." I mean, those are just incredible scenes. Also, your scenes with Ranveer, I think, in that film where you're trying to make him understand why he should be married. I think there's some incredible acting in that film. I feel like Anil is the actor who you can expect consistency. It's that he always hits the mark. एक लड़की को देखा, beautiful performance, really the emotional core, because it's the father who you have to see him. I mean, you understand that the rest of them are modern, they will accept this. Will the father get over it? It's really some incredible work. And thank you for wonderful work. We have someone in the audience who's worked with you many times. I feel like, Farah, you will be able to give us an insight into why you think Anil is this enduring presence. Why has he succeeded where others his time haven't?
Okay, so for everybody, I call him Papaji. Okay, I don't know, it started off as a joke because it was like after every shot I would say, "Papaji, tusi great ho." And now he's Papaji. And I mean, just look at him.
Yeah.
There was an old age app challenge.
Correct.
And he looked the same 30 years ago and he looks the same now. And 25 years ago, I got to choreograph him.
Virasat, was it?
And before that also, Kabhi Na Kabhi, one song.
Yeah.
2-3 songs where he, Jackie Shroff and Pooja Bhatt had to dance together. I almost thought my career was going to end then. But he is still going strong, and just look at him. He looks incredible. He has the same passion.
Yeah.
I'll go to his house, we'll hear him screaming from top. I'll ask his wife, he's rehearsing lines. Papaji, you're too good. I mean, he has all the energy of there's no one to match him in passion and zeal and energy and just the will to do something, whether it's Denam Bacha or whether it's Parinda or whatever. The passion is the same.
Anil, where does that come from? I mean, where does that? That's so lovely. Yeah. Where does that come from, Anil? I think people can get cynical, right? When you're doing the same job over the number of years.
By
that
the
you've
way,
done
he
it.
was also the first star who took the decision to do one movie at a time.
Ah.
In the days when everyone was doing 30 and 40 movies,
Right.
and everyone thought he's gone mad.
Wow.
Because he returned signing amounts and he said, no, I will now do one film at a time.
Anil, where does it come from? Where does that lack of cynicism come from? You know, this is a job. I mean, there are every job and every career has bad days. To kind of not get cynical even on those days and give the best. I mean, we've seen those films. We've seen those some. I mean, for Race 3, if you like. I mean, I'm saying films which aren't great, and you have to know you've been doing it for you know when things are going right and wrong, and to still hit the mark and to still sort of offer that consistency to know that I won't fail.
I think it's a combination. I feel if I just talk about myself, that I enjoy my work. It's a lot of fun. I'm very passionate. I love acting, but somewhere I feel it's नसीब also. नसीब बहुत बड़ी चीज़ है कि सही वक्त पे सही टाइम पे आपके पास ऐसी एक फिल्म आ जाती है, ऐसा एक फिल्म मेकर आ जाता है, ऐसा एक इंसान आ जाता है, ऐसा एक रोल आ जाता है, and you have to be grateful to God, that. So it's a combination, I feel. If the film, if these kind of people and these kind of filmmakers don't come to you with those kind of roles, क्या करेंगे आप मेहनत के? If you're working in a wrong film, in a wrong role, it won't work. So it's somewhere, I think God has been kind, I feel. And I'm always, I'm always that way grateful.
Right.
कुछ ना कुछ करके, कोई ना कोई करके, कुछ ना कुछ ऐसा एक आ ही जाता है. And always there is something which I am completely excited and motivated about.
Right.
वो picture चले ना चले, but there's always one film I'm doing where I feel this film, ये film is the best film of my career.
Right.
By the way, he feels the same about all his films.
That's incredible, but
Yeah,
that's amazing.
that is amazing. Every film is the best film being made.
Maybe that's the thing to learn then, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but I think some way.
You've also adapted beautifully, Anil. I mean, your career is a great. I mean, we're talking about changing cinema and stuff, but you through your career, one can look at how cinema has changed over the years, and a lot of actors, your time, who started out with you, didn't weren't able to survive because they didn't adapt. Whether it was becoming a supporting actor when needed. BB number one, great example of a film where you're not the hero, and still you're this amazing character whose brilliant performance. I mean, your and Tabu scenes were some of the best scenes in that film. To know when to do that, to know when to become part of an ensemble, to allow to be in films where the woman is the center of it. The film with Kajol that you did, I think it was Hum Aapke Dil Mein Rehte Hain. To know
Quite a few films, yeah. Judai.
Yeah, Judai, of course. Plenty.
Where the wife sells me.
Correct.
अभी if you tell anybody hero, आज की हीरो बोलेगे ऐसा एक रोल है जहाँ जो अपनी जो हीरोइन है कोई भी जो भी हो वो आपको बेच देती है.
Sunita has been trying it for many years.
No, sorry, I can't say something which I wanted to say. बहुत जूते पड़ेंगे मुझे. So it was almost there. So I feel again, somewhere when I started my career, I was kind of a misfit.
Right.
Like they felt कि थोड़ा सा arty है. Some people used to call me a थैला वाला actor. थैला वाला एक्टर समझते हैं क्या होता है ना? झोला लेके जो घूमते हैं, दाढ़ी झोला, बहुत सोचता है, सोचने वाला, बहुत प्रिपेयर करता है. एंड दे यूज्ड टू से यार अच्छा है बट मेहनत बहुत करता है. मतलब मेहनत करने वाले को वाज एट दैट टाइम वाज अ नेगेटिव पॉइंट. इमेजिन ये साला ही वर्क्स टू हार्ड, इतना मेहनत नहीं करना चाहिए, वो स्पॉन्टेनिटी चला जाता है. अरे यार स्पॉन्टेनिटी चला जाता है. But I think you should appreciate people who work hard. So now that has become cooler. That has become, this guy really, अपने कैरेक्टर में इतनी मेहनत करता है, 2 साल में एक पिक्चर करता है. उस वक्त if I would do one film at a time, they would say इसके पास काम नहीं है.
Right.
I remember going to Aapki Adalat and and I had grown the mustache for Virasat, that long mustache, and obviously I was not looking like myself. So there were questions asked कि आजकल काम कम मिल रहा है. अरे काम कम नहीं मिल रहा है, मैं कैरेक्टर में घुसा हूँ. So that time it was not that cool when I cut my hair for short and changed my complete hairstyle and my look for 1942 A Love Story. I lost so much weight, and because I was not convinced that I can play a leading, like a romantic hero, I said no to Vinod Chopra. I said, you take Amir, who's much younger, मेरे तो 10 साल छोटा है वो, तुम आमिर को ले लो, तुम बॉबी देओल को ले लो, why are you casting me? मैं 3 बच्चों का बाप हूँ, तुम कहाँ मुझसे एक लड़की को देखा, कुछ ना कहो, why are you making me do this role? And they were convinced. So then when they said that you have to do the film, and his brother convinced me to do the film, and I heard the music of R.D. Burman there, somewhere, and I said, yaar, ye gaane to main hi gaunga. And somewhere I was inspired, and then I worked. I lost a lot of weight. I cut my hair short, and I remember reaching Dalhousie where they had already started shooting, and I went in that look, and Vinod was completely taken aback and shocked. He couldn't believe that that's me.
Right.
The way I looked in 942 Love Story. And that's only one of the only love stories I've done.
Right.
And because I always wanted to do characters,
Right.
different characters. I didn't want to become a romantic lead or an action hero or a comedian. I just wanted to do, all kinds of roles ताकि जिंदगी भर काम मिलता रहे.
Really, what a career it's been. What a wonderful career it's been. I really feel like you've given us a lot of joy. You made us sort of laugh and cry, and brought, because through the dramatic roles, I think that there's been, it's easy to sort of relate to what you're doing on screen because it's just real, honest acting, and you've made us laugh through the incredible performances. And now you've got 3 wonderful kids who are taking the legacy forward. And the only actor who's still playing leading man, while his son is leading man, while his daughter is, a leading lady. So many, many congratulations, Anil. Thank you for wonderful performances. Thank you for a career that is, one looks at and marvels at, because I don't think actors like that come every day. Thank you for just all the amazing work that you've done, and thank you for allowing us to program this retrospective. We've got some wonderful films of yours playing during the festival. My favorite, Mr. India. We've also got Wo Saath Din. I think we have Roop Ki Rani, which is spectacle cinema at its best. With Anil, you need about 3 days to talk about his entire career, but I think we only have time for this. Thank you so much, Anil. Thank you for being a spectacular audience. What we don't have time for questions, but we'll do one selfie, Anil, where like the group selfie. So if from here, from the stage, we'll take a picture so everyone is in the picture. Is that okay? Guys, okay?